Hello, my friend. It is good to have you here today. Find a comfortable place to sit, take a slow breath, and think for a moment about one question. Have you ever been underestimated? Have you ever felt that people looked at you and saw only what was missing? Not fast enough, not strong enough, not special enough, not chosen early enough, not built like the others. Maybe they did not say it directly, but you could feel it in their silence, in their doubts, in the way they looked past you as if your dream belonged to somebody else. Tonight, we walk through the life of a boy who heard that message many times, a boy from California who grew up watching greatness from the stands, never knowing that one day people would speak his name with the same kind of awe. Before the rings, before the records, before the Super Bowl comebacks, before the word legend followed him everywhere he went, Tom Brady was just Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr., a skinny kid from San Mateo, California, trying to find his place in a game that did not seem ready to choose him. Tom Brady was born on August 3rd, 1977 in San Mateo, not far from San Francisco. He was the youngest child in the Brady family, growing up with 3 older sisters in a home filled with competition, love, faith, and sports. His sisters were athletes. His parents supported their children deeply. And Tom, from the beginning, learned what it meant to compete inside a family where no one simply handed you victory. If you wanted to win, you had to earn it. If you wanted attention, you had to fight for it. If you wanted to be heard, you had to become strong enough for your voice to matter. As a boy, Brady watched the San Francisco 49ers and idolized Joe Montana. Montana was not just a quarterback to him. He was proof that calm could defeat chaos. He was proof that a man could stand in the middle of pressure, with thousands screaming, defenders coming, the clock dying, and still make the right decision. Little Tom watched those moments and carried them inside him. He did not know it yet, but he was studying the language of greatness before greatness ever knew his name. But Tom Brady did not look like a future king of football. He was not the fastest kid. He was not the strongest. He was not the kind of young athlete who walked onto a field and made every coach stop talking. At Junipero Serra High School, he played football, basketball, and baseball. He loved competition, but football held something special for him. The quarterback position was different. A quarterback had to see the whole field. He had to lead. He had to decide. He had to carry the blame when things went wrong and keep his voice steady when everybody else was panicking. Maybe that is why Brady was drawn to it. Because deep inside, he was already becoming the kind of person who did not run away from pressure. He moved toward it. There was another path available. Brady was also talented in baseball. In 1995, the Montreal Expos drafted him as a catcher. Imagine that for a moment. One decision, one signature, and the story of American football might have been completely different. Tom Brady could have chased a baseball career. He could have spent his life on diamonds instead of football fields. But something inside him kept pulling him back to the game with the helmet, the huddle, the snap, and the final drive. He chose football. And in choosing football, he chose the harder road. He went to the University of Michigan. And when people look back now, they sometimes imagine that Tom Brady's rise must have been obvious, that everyone around him must have known he would become great. But that is not the truth. At Michigan, he was not treated like a savior. He was one quarterback among many. He had to wait. He had to compete. He had to sit on the bench. He had to watch others get opportunities. And that kind of waiting can break a young athlete. Because it is one thing to dream when the world is cheering. It is another thing to keep dreaming when you are standing on the sideline with a helmet in your hand. There is a quiet pain in being prepared, but not chosen. You practice, you study, you give everything. But when the game begins, Your name is not called. Brady lived through that pain. He fought for playing time. He fought for belief. He fought the voice inside his own mind that asked whether maybe the coaches were right, whether maybe he was ordinary after all. At Michigan, he worked with Greg Harton, who helped him understand one of the most important lessons of his life. Control what you can control, not the depth chart, not the opinion of others, not the noise. Control your attitude, control your preparation, control your response. That lesson stayed with him forever. Brady began to build the invisible part of greatness. Not the touchdowns people cheer for, not the trophies cameras capture. The invisible part, the film study, the footwork, the patience, the emotional discipline, the decision to prepare like a starter even when he was treated like a backup, the decision to act like the opportunity was coming even when no one promised it would. Eventually, he earned his chance at Michigan. He became a starter. He won important games. He showed toughness, leadership, and calm. But even after all of that, when the NFL draft arrived in 2000, the professional football world did not see a future legend. They saw a quarterback with questions. His body did not impress scouts. His speed did not frighten anyone. His appearance at the NFL Combine later became famous for all the wrong reasons. A thin, unimpressive body, nothing like the image people expected from an elite athlete. At that moment, he did not look like destiny. He looked like doubt. The draft began. Round 1 passed. Nothing. Round 2 passed. Nothing. Round 3, round 4, round 5. Still nothing. Imagine Brady sitting there waiting for the phone to ring, watching name after name appear on the screen. Other players celebrated, other dreams began, and he waited. The silence grew heavier with every pick, because every team that passed on him was sending the same message. We have seen you, and we do not believe you are worth more than this. Finally, in the 6th round, the New England Patriots selected Tom Brady with the 199th pick. Number 199. 198 players were chosen before him. 6 quarterbacks were taken before him. To the NFL, Brady was not the future face of the league. He was a late-round backup, a depth player, a possibility, maybe nothing more. But sometimes the world does not understand what it has just done. Sometimes, when it ignores a person, it creates the very fire that will later consume every doubt. Brady arrived in New England behind Drew Bledsoe, the established quarterback, the franchise star. Brady was not expected to take over. He was expected to learn, wait, and maybe become useful one day. His rookie season was quiet, almost invisible. But he studied, he watched, he prepared, he lived as if his chance might come tomorrow. And then, in 2001, it did. During a game against the New York Jets, Drew Bledsoe suffered a serious injury. Suddenly, the backup had to become the leader. There was no dramatic warning, no perfect moment, no easy path. Life rarely tells you when your defining moment is about to arrive. It simply hands you the ball and waits to see what you do with it. Tom Brady entered the game. The young man chosen, 199th, now stood in the center of the New England Patriots offense. At first, nobody knew what he would become. But week after week, something happened. The Patriots began to win. Brady did not always look spectacular. He did not need to. He made the right reads. He protected the ball. He stayed calm. He kept drives alive. He made the ordinary decisions that, in the most important moments, become extraordinary. New England reached Super Bowl against the St. Louis Rams, a team so explosive they were called the greatest show on turf. Almost no one believed the Patriots could win. But late in the game, with the score tied and the clock running down, Brady got the ball. Many expected New England to play safe and go to overtime. But Brady moved the team down the field, pass by pass, step by step, decision by decision. Then Adam Vinatieri kicked the game-winning field goal. Patriots won. Tom Brady was a Super Bowl champion, the 6th-round pick. The forgotten quarterback had just won the biggest game in American football. But that was not the end of the story. It was the beginning. Over the next few years, Brady and the Patriots built a dynasty. They won again after the 2003 season, then again after the 2004 season, 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Suddenly, the player no one wanted early had become the quarterback everyone had to respect. Alongside coach Bill Belichick, Brady became the face of a culture built on discipline, preparation, and cold execution. They did not win because everything was beautiful. They won because every detail mattered. Every meeting, every route, every protection call, every mistake corrected before it could become a habit. And yet, even with 3 championships, Brady's story was not clean. Greatness never is. In 2007, the Patriots were almost perfect. Brady threw touchdown after touchdown. Randy Moss became his great weapon. New England finished the regular season undefeated, 16 wins and no losses. They reached Super Bowl X2 against the New York Giants with a chance to complete the perfect season. It felt like history was waiting for them. But football can be cruel. The Giants pressured Brady all night. Eli Manning escaped a sack. David Tyree made the famous helmet catch. The Patriots lost. Perfection died one step from immortality. That loss stayed with Brady, because the deepest wounds often come not when you fail early, but when you almost touch forever and watch it disappear. The next year, another blow came. In the first game of the 2008 season, Brady suffered a serious knee injury and missed the rest of the year. For a man built around preparation, competition, and control, injury was a different kind of opponent. He could not outthrow it. He could not read it like a defense. He had to heal. He had to wait. And waiting, once again, became part of his story. He came back. He kept winning. But in 2011, the Giants hurt him again in another Super Bowl. Another close loss. Another reminder that even legends do not get everything they want. People began to ask whether his best days were behind him. He was still great, but could he win the biggest game again? Had the dynasty faded? Was the old magic gone? For most athletes, those questions become weight. For Brady, they became fuel. Then came the 2014 season. Super Bowl X9, Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks. A brutal defense, a dangerous opponent, a close, tense game. Near the end, Seattle stood close to the goal line, ready to win, but Malcolm Butler intercepted the pass. New England survived. Brady won his 4th Super Bowl. After 10 years without lifting the trophy, he was back on top. And then came the night that turned his career from greatness into mythology. Super Bowl LI, Patriots against the Atlanta Falcons. The game became a nightmare. Atlanta led 28-3. In the 3rd quarter of a Super Bowl, that score should have been a death sentence. Millions of people watching around the world believed it was over. But Tom Brady did not seem to believe in over. Not while the clock still had time. Not while there was one more possession. Not while there was one more play. The comeback began slowly. A score, a stop, another score, another chance. The impossible started moving. Brady kept throwing, kept reading, kept believing. The Patriots tied the game and forced the first overtime in Super Bowl history. Then Brady took the field again. The man, once passed over 198 times, led the drive that completed the greatest comeback the Super Bowl had ever seen. Patriots won, from 28-3 to champions. His 5th ring, A victory so improbable it no longer felt like a game. It felt like a legend being written in real time. He was not done. In the 2018 season, Brady won his sixth Super Bowl, defeating the Los Angeles Rams. 6 championships. At that point, he had nothing left to prove to anyone. But that is the strange thing about people like Tom Brady. They are not driven only by proving others wrong. Eventually, they are driven by proving something to themselves, that they can still prepare, still lead, still endure, still win when the world thinks time should have taken something away. After 20 seasons in New England, Brady left the Patriots in 2020. For many fans, it felt impossible. Brady and the Patriots, it seemed like one story, one identity, one machine, but he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And once again, people doubted. He was in his 40s. He was leaving the only professional system he had ever known. Some said Belichick had made him. Some said the Patriots' culture had protected him. Some said Tampa would expose the truth. Instead, Brady built again. New team, new city, new teammates, same obsession. He demanded excellence. He studied, he led, he raised the standard. And in his very first season with the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay reached Super Bowl LV against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. The young superstar many believed represented the future of football, the old legend against the new king. But that night, the old legend still ruled. Tampa Bay won. Tom Brady captured his 7th Super Bowl, 7 rings. More than any player in NFL history. More championships than any single franchise had at that time. Think about that. A man picked 199th overall had won more Super Bowls than entire organizations. It sounds impossible. It sounds like something a writer would invent and an editor would reject for being too unrealistic. But it happened. And maybe that is why Brady's story is so powerful. He was not the perfect athlete. He was not the fastest. He was not the strongest. He did not look like the obvious chosen one. His greatness came from something more difficult to measure. Discipline, hunger, intelligence, emotional control, and an almost frightening refusal to be satisfied. He turned preparation into power. He turned doubt into fuel. He turned longevity into a weapon. He turned the next play into a way of life. After more than 2 decades, after all the records, all the comebacks, all the playoff wins, all the Super Bowl nights, time finally came closer. Brady retired, returned for one more season, and then retired again in 2023. This time, it felt final. The league continued, but something had changed. For more than 20 years, Sundays had Brady. Playoffs had Brady. Final drives had Brady. Impossible comebacks had Brady. And suddenly, the game had to go on without the man who had defined so much of it. But legends do not really leave. They remain in comparison, in memory, in argument. In the young quarterback who studies one more hour because Brady once did. In the player drafted late who refuses to believe the number beside his name defines him. In the fan who says, I watched him. I watched the 199th pick become the greatest winner the sport has ever seen. I watched the backup become the face of a dynasty. I watched 28-3 become a lesson in belief. I watched an old quarterback leave home, start again, and win one more ring. The story of Tom Brady is not only a story about football, it is a story about what happens when the world underestimates the wrong person. It is about waiting without quitting, preparing without applause, believing before anyone else believes. It is about being passed over and still showing up the next morning. It is about the quiet years that make the loud moments possible. Maybe you are listening to this story and thinking about something in your own life. Maybe you have been overlooked. Maybe you have been placed on the bench. Maybe you have waited for a call that never came. Maybe someone looked at you and saw nothing special. But remember this, the world looked at Tom Brady and saw pick number 199. It saw a backup, a risk, a maybe. It did not see 7 rings. It did not see the comeback. It did not see the legend. And that is the lesson. Being underestimated is not the same as being defeated. Being chosen late is not the same as arriving small. Being ignored does not mean you are empty. Sometimes the world needs years to recognize what has been growing quietly inside a person all along. Brady's greatness was not born under confetti. It was born in silence, on the bench, in the waiting, in the film room, in the disappointment, in the decision to keep preparing when no one was watching. Tom Brady became an all-time legend, not because the road opened easily for him, but because he kept walking when it did not. He became great because he was ready when the ball finally came to his hands. And maybe, my friend, that is all any of us can do. Stay ready. Keep learning. Keep working. Keep believing in the next play, because one day, the moment may come. The world may finally call your name. And when it does, your whole life may depend on one thing: whether you prepared in the silence before the stadium ever began to cheer.